Yo, before I'll say anything, before all this stream of bullshit will come out of my mouth, let's take a second and acknowledge one thing. Take a second to appreciate fast food workers. Like, come on, guys that work in fast food places. My God. Honestly, putting all this hard work for a minimum wage, you guys are fucking heroes. And I'm saying this as a person that did work in a fast food place as well. But the fast food places that I worked in, I usually have been doing a fair bit of driving. Not always was all driving, but a fair bit was driving, and that's just different. I did work in KFC as well. I did work in McDonald's, but I worked there for like a few days only until I didn't anymore. There are different stories associated with it, so since this podcast, even if it doesn't have any views, it's still public. I better shut up in here. But one thing, bro, this is fucking incredibly difficult. And so I am saying this while keeping in mind that there are different things that are difficult for different people. Okay, like, because, for example, I've been also working in a warehouse, and very, very often I've been working in a mud outside the warehouse. It was raining, it was muddy, and you've been all dirty, and you had to work hard, lifting heavy things rather fast as well, you know. But I wouldn't consider this, even though it was physically far more demanding than, McDonald's. I think McDonald's is far more draining. Like, it's far more difficult. Maybe it is just my personal approach. Maybe someone is like coming to McDonald's and they feel like on vacation. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm talking from the perspective of an employee, not from a customer, obviously. But for me, holy shit, these people are heroes. So thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. Right now, I'm on the diet, so I don't go there very often. But that's besides the point. Man, awesome. Absolutely awesome, honestly. But there's a small thing that I wanted to say beside that. I have a pretty good job at the moment. And I couldn't help but keep thinking, why the hell I even got this job in the first place? And I wasn't thinking from the perspective of a person, like I wasn't thinking from perspective that, oh my god, I'm so shit, I am so incompetent, I am definitely underqualified, why the fuck they gave me this job? I don't mean that. What I mean is, I've been applying for similar positions that were paying less. And they didn't even ask me for an interview. Okay? And so, I was thinking, how the hell did I even get this job? Genuinely. And so, that is not fully true. Okay? This is not like eternal truth. This isn't like fucking Jesus, alright? But I believe that a big factor was the fact that I'm fucking old. Don't get me wrong, I'm only 27 years old. But I've been driving for most of my working life. And experience simply was the factor why. And you know what? I don't think I'm a better driver than I was 2 years ago, I've been driving in many, many different countries. I've been driving internationally as well. But I don't think that I am better at here in 2022 than I was in 2018, for example. Honestly, genuinely, I don't think I'm a better driver. But because all those years adds up, it looks like you're of a better value, and they prefer to hire you. So, right now, I'm not saying that this is like eternal truth, and it's like true always, because even in the company, in a very position on which I work on, there are people far younger than me, few of them. But still doesn't change the fact that most of the drivers are old shits. Way older than me as well. So that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Just because I'm 27, not 18, I got a job. That's weird. And another thing from the point of view of a foreigner, because like I'm a foreigner in Scotland. Suddenly, I am far more privileged Only because I lived in Scotland for over 3 years. Before 3 years hit in, nobody would give me a contract for fun or a credit, something like this, like a loan. I couldn't go to Arnold Clark and get myself a car and just pay monthly for it. It just wouldn't happen. But 3 years passed, and suddenly I am a trustworthy person. So, don't get me wrong. I fully realize that people that are responsible for statistics of this sort are smart people. Like, they know what the fuck they are doing. They really do know what they're doing. It is all based so that the companies will not lose their money. It's all like reasonable. But still, it feels kind of funny. It's like, I did nothing, people. I am not a better person. I did it. If anything, I became a worse person over the years. And yet you trust me more. That is just so weird. And you know what I think? Like, okay, I'm just a fucking driver, okay? From my perspective, I am a well-paid driver, but honestly, from a perspective of any person that is a member of a upper class, I'm a fucking peasant, right? I don't drive a Jaguar. I drive a Vauxhall, and only half of it is mine. But my personal opinion is, I do believe that time and experience, counted in time, is kind of overvalued. Like, I don't think it's worth all that much. Like, genuinely, I don't. Honestly. Solely on the basis that, hey, I am way better driver than when I've been 18, okay? But I'm not a better driver at all than I have been in 2018. What I mean is that experience should be valued maybe up to 5 years. But then after that, you're not learning anything. You're not getting better at all, honestly. So, what's the point with all this? What's the point? It's like we are valuing people with a large experience, with better positions and better money, and people with bigger experience demand better positions and better money, but I don't think they're necessarily better. Like, honestly. After 5 years, if anything, you're only forging a very toxic habits that are making your work a little easier, but they are definitely toxic for a company you work in. That's what I think. That's my experience. Because at some point you know how to secure the load, not exactly in a proper way, but that's basically nothing will happen. You know when you can speed up a little bit, and when you shouldn't. Like stuff like that. If you have any devices measuring your speed, as we have in our vans, you know how sensitive they are, and you know what they're sensitive to. You know what I mean? Like, you're learning stuff that is useful to you. You're not learning stuff that is useful to the company after this 5 years and stuff. So, I believe that as good driver as I am, if anything, I'll get only worse. My eyesight will go worse. My hearing will go worse. All this kind of stuff. So, my perception, my reaction time, all this will only get worse or anything. Also, if you're a better driver, another thing, because it just happened, you know very well dimensions of the vehicle you're driving. It's a car, it's a van, it's a lorry, it's a bus, it's a fucking tractor, whatever. You know it pretty well. So whenever you're overtaking cyclists, you know how to overtake them so that you will not kill them. In the worst case scenario, they'll be just kind of frightened. And that's kind of illegal. This is fucking illegal. This is illegal as fuck. And I am forcing myself not to do it. But sometimes I do. Because I can. 18 years old me wouldn't have that power, but I did have that power by 2018. Certainly, most likely before that. You know what I mean? Sorry, right now I'm just ranting and keep repeating myself, so I think it's time to finish. Main thought. McDonald's workers, you're fucking awesome. experienced McDonald's workers, you're even more awesome. Very well experienced McDonald's workers. You're equally awesome as the previous group. Sorry, you're not any better. Love you all.